All right, hello. I am with my friend Dr. Phil DeFina. Dr. Phil, it's nice
Hi.
having you with here.
How you
with
doing,
us.
Ryan?
Good, thank you. And just excited to talk to you today about neurofeedback. It's a new technology that you've introduced me to, and you've got some pretty cool science here that you've been studying, it sounds like.
Yes. So what we do, neurofeedback can be done in a lot of contexts and with a lot of different machines.
Right.
Most people use very simple two-sensor sequential type of neurofeedback that's usually a much longer, much more arduous process. And they don't do brain mapping in order to really understand the formula of how to design the program for the neurofeedback. So what we have here is, this is the most sophisticated unit here. This is a DSI research unit, and it has 21 sensors. So it's a whole brain unit that corresponds to the 1020 brain mapping system that we have. And this particular unit does the entire brain at the same time. So with your specialized brain mapping, the QEEG
That we've already done.
we then put in the program which will suppress the bad signals, the electrical signals that we don't want to see, like very slow wave, delta, theta activity, etc. And we want to introduce and reinforce the stronger, better signals.
Such as the alpha and stuff.
Right. So the faster wave signals, and based on your particular map, we designed a protocol that will do whole brain. This is a dry unit. You don't have to apply any gel.
Yeah.
So
on wet units, or what do they call them? You have to put a gel on there.
Right.
Which
So
on
that's
your
a bad
scalp,
hair
so
day.
Yes, that's
right.
a
So
horrible hair day.
There's no bad hair day here. So essentially, you just adjust this to your size and put this on, and basically from there.
Now this is by the name of the company is?
Yeah, this is DSI, and essentially
Applied Neuroscience.
Applied Neuroscience is the organization who are very close friends of mine. They're top neuroscientists, are the ones who've developed this particular technology.
What does one of these sell for, Dr. Phil, that I purchased
These
here?
run around 22,000 plus software costs that are added. So an entire system like this can run $25,000 or so, $26,000.
Nice to have.
People can pay it off over a year or two, whatever. But essentially, this can also record EEG as well as do the treatments. But usually, a lot of people can't afford it, so they'll come to a clinic to do this. There are some people like yourself who can have it at home.
Yeah.
But this particular system really is a much more comprehensive way of treating the brain, and it's an entrainment program. So we're not putting any electrical signal into your head. What we're doing is we're using these sensors to be able to monitor the changes that you're making in your own brain through entrainment from a modification program. It's a reinforcement protocol that we use.
Yeah.
So basically, you're training your own brain to get better based on how we program in the information through the software.
So I'm
based
not,
on your brain.
Am I looking at a visual thing while I'm doing this all? I'm not looking at anything?
Well, what you
how
would
does this
do,
work exactly?
the reinforcer for this can be music, it can be a video game, it can be a show, a TV show, a movie, and essentially the music or the show will continue to go at the normal pace as long as your brain is synchronous with the signals that we're trying to reinforce. If it's not, then it will slow down, etc. So we'd have to make adjustments in order to create the proper level of reinforcement in order for people to get to the next level. And as people progress, we continue to change. It's a dynamic fluid process. So we continue to change the program in order to fulfill the needs to get you to the next level.
And that's just how I am in life. I'm always looking to get better in life. I'm looking to get better in my work, looking to become a better father also. I'm always looking to step it up in life. I mean, life is short. You may as well play at the highest levels as you possibly can. So, we're seeing people that are getting into neurofeedback are professional athletes, musicians, artists, and stuff like this.
You can improve your sports game. You can improve musical talent. You can increase your attention span. You can improve your memory. You can do things dynamically to set goals, perceptual motor goals, visual spatial goals, etc. So what you're doing is using a psychological reinforcement program with whatever medium you want to use, music, etc. And this particular unit will sense the electrical signals and manage the program as you're watching the movie or listening to the music.
So cool.
Basically, you're training your own brain with this type of technology.
Just absolutely amazing. This is the nicest one in the world, would you say?
I would say, in my opinion, I think this is one of the top units you can get. It is a professional research unit that's used to gather data for scientific studies, and it has extremely, intense clinical efficacy.
So how do people? I was going to set this aside for a second, Phil. How do people, like I mentioned like professional athletes and stuff like this, but I've just found myself, the reason why I started working with you is because I noticed like my attention span was getting down a little bit and stuff like this, and I was just looking to become more on point and stuff like this. And I've suffered from attention deficit disorder. I've disclosed this, and that's what I'm looking to help is with my attention span and stuff like this.
Right.
Let me see here. What kind of things actually get people's attention span off? I kind of see it as we're moving in a very high-paced lifestyle nowadays, right? Like people that are on their phones constantly and doing all. Let's talk about that for a second. Video games we're talking about.
The detrimental effect of video games, the detrimental effect of sleep deprivation, the detrimental effect of stress, which goes untreated, becomes distress. So neurofeedback is a really good system to be able to assist people practically in being able to train their own brain without using medications with many side effects. And as a result of that, you're not having a great main effect, you're having a lot of side effects. So people are non-compliant with medications for ADD, for various other kinds of neuropsychiatric conditions, depression, anxiety, etc. So if we can modulate or change the electrical signals by you training your own brain to get healthier.
Really cool.
This is the process to do it, and this particular unit is the top of the line in being able to accomplish that goal.
Yeah, so you and I are working on getting neurofeedback out to the world, and we are going to be, you've just joined our new social media network that pays the people in Bitcoin, the new Facebook that pays, where we're going to be sharing these sciences with people. It's called FutureNet, and your website link is www.DeFina.FutureNet.club. We'll put this in the description right here where you can see where we're putting these sciences on there, discussing this.
Absolutely. If anyone wants to find out more about neuromarker-guided neuromodulation, the fancy way of saying how to assess brain functions in order to treat them in a non-invasive way, a non-pharmaceutical or drug way, with great results, try to reach me. You can reach me at dr.phil4227@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you guys.
And your website for you work with again, your name of your company?
We're Neuroscience Advanced Systems Inc. clinically, and the research arm, which is a separate organization that does strictly brain research, is International Brain Research, and that if you look up www.ibrfinc.org, you'll see a lot of research studies and application of what we do. Contact me personally on the email I just gave you, dr.phil4227@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you and help to guide you or answer questions about these new technologies, because I think people are more aware of the effects, the deleterious effects of drugs and medications are not really doing the trick.
Post-traumatic stress disorder, you and I are both in the military as well, and this is something that we can, that we're seeing a lot of relief. You can look through YouTube. I encourage you all to take a look through YouTube. The effects of neurofeedback when it comes, the healing effects when it comes to PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. So I want to give you vets out there hope and a way to improve your psychology.
Exactly. I have a program that we set up with Dr. Gene Lipov, Lipov. So if you look
check him out.
Dr. Lipov, Lipov /PTSD, you'll see hundreds and hundreds of different YouTube videos and patients. Doctor show that he's on, LA Doctor Show.
16 times on the doctor.
Yeah,
doctor
16
show.
times on the Doctor Show.
Amazing, like-
And this is a technique.
Taking it over.
Yeah, this is a technique that requires a minimally invasive electrical stimulation to the neck or an injection of a certain medication, which reboots the brain. The signals that are modulated, throughout the entire brain become rebooted, and essentially what happens is through this injection into the neck, the brain, basically from the most primitive parts of the brain in the brainstem all the way through the midbrain and relayed through the thalamus into the cortex, become reorganized and rebooted, and the symptoms of the PTSD are gone within 10 to 20 minutes.
And I actually, just for full disclosure, I just went through this procedure myself. Dr. Lipov was amazing. I'm here in Chicago right now, getting ready to fly home. It does make your eye droopy for a few hours afterwards. The reason for that is, you want to explain that for a second?
Well, when if you targeted the right location in that nerve plexus, then that will be an effect from it, which is a temporary effect. And that indicates that he actually hit the appropriate target. So C3 and C6 are the two targets that are hit with the stellate ganglion block.
Yes.
And literally, under fluoroscopy, they target the needles, they put in the medication and or electrical stimulation.
I was out real quick.
You're out, you're
done.
up, and within 20 minutes, you see the result.
And I just want to share one quick thing. I've got other videos about this, guys. You guys can watch. But I carried a lot of stress in my neck from being, type A personality, going as hard as I do work in life and stuff like this. Being in the military, going through, trauma and stuff in the military. They put you through some pretty rigorous stuff right there as well, and all this. And so I encourage you all to go ahead and take a look at Dr. Lipov's work, and definitely look into neurofeedback, and definitely call my buddy Dr. Phil right here. And
we have a center in Chicago and another one in New York, and soon there'll be different centers in different states in which we can apply all of these techniques in one location. But thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, buddy.
Ryan,
thank you so much for everything. Appreciate
educating people
Let's
is
definitely
really
help
important.
people heal. Most
Having
definitely.
educated consumers, people looking into things that are non-medication alternatives to helping with depression, anxiety,
Because these
attention
pills
problems.
just are not cutting it. These pills, it just is not working as well as we wish we could just take them at. We've been kind of through the ages, through the last decades, hey, pop a pill and you get better. But it is, healing takes time, and we want to work with the most effective means out there, which would be with that method and also these devices.
There was just an article that identified 91 of the most popularly used medications are medications that potentially can have suicide and severe depression and anxiety as a side
I've
effect.
shared with you the depression that I've gone through, and I have had those thoughts before, myself. And that when you have children, especially, and other generations to come, you want to see your grandchildren, you want to be at your best. So I'm just really thankful once again, brother, for helping heal me and stuff. And you guys, all right? Well, thank you for your time. Take a look at the information down below. Have a good day.
Take care.
Bye-bye.